This
Yes, I have all day, every each hour a class. I don't have a break time, and
oh no.
yes, and this afternoon I went to the gym. I finished uh, to my dinner. I connect. I hope to go to sleep in 1 hour.
Okay, yeah, hopefully. As long as you don't have insomnia or anything like that. But yeah, it sounds like a busy day. Andrew and David and Jose and Oner,
Yes.
welcome to class, everybody.
Hello.
Let's start. Hi,
Hello.
guys. And Jonathan, welcome to class again as well. Andrew, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you for asking. I'm doing fine.
Nice. Okay, it's good to hear. And David, how about you? How's it going?
I'm hanging in there, I think.
Good expression. Hanging in there. All right, and let's have Jonathan. How have you been?
Hi, Joshua. I'm great. I'm great.
Nice, good. And Jose, welcome back. Jose, how about you? How are you
Yes.
doing?
Fine, thanks for asking. In the afternoon, in the morning I was working, and in the afternoon I have been learning English. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, nice. So work in the morning and then English
Yes,
in the afternoon.
in the
Good.
afternoon.
Owner,
Okay.
welcome. Owner, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And so, Owner, what did you do today?
It was an ordinary day. Just I went to my factory. Not my factory, I am working for that. Uh, After 8 hours of working, I'm here.
Okay. Maybe we could say then I went to the factory where I work.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And nice. Giulietta, welcome back. Giulietta, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay. Good. And Andrew, so what did you do today, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm here. I was teaching my students, and then I was teaching my students again.
Okay.
And I was working on the radio before I was teaching my students. So I was working the whole day.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty long day. And so what do you teach? What do you teach?
I'm teaching people how to make sound, how to mix sound, how record,
Okay.
uh, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think I'd actually heard that before. So sorry about the repeat question.
No
Um,
problem.
David, what about you? What do you do all day?
Uh, Work. I worked all day.
Okay.
Some meetings and a very busy day.
All right. Well, hopefully it was productive and not too stressful. So sometimes busy days can be a little bit stressful, so hopefully it worked out
Uh,
well.
it was productive. Yes.
Nice. I guess that's the most important thing. And so I guess let's get started with today's class. So we're going to be talking about job interviews. And let's start with Adela. Adela, can you read the title and the next few lines?
Job interview 2. Today we will learn job interview vocabulary, practice the what's your witness question, form parse anecdote, PAR anecdote,
Make sure you get
practice
an
as
S at the end.
anecdotes,
Anecdotes.
anecdotes, okay.
Good.
Practice asking each other question and give each other suggestion. Anecdotes.
Good. Anecdotes. And suggestions.
Suggestion.
Suggestions.
Suggestion.
Yeah, make sure you get that Z at the end. Suggestions.
Suggestions.
Good. Suggestions. Perfect.
Suggestions. Oh, very difficult.
Yeah, it's a tough word.
Suggestions.
Good. And
Okay.
maybe Andrew. So if you look at this picture, you see a bunch of maybe potential employees waiting for their interview. Has something like that ever happened to you, Andrew?
No, actually.
Okay. Yeah, it's never happened to me either. Has anybody ever been in a situation like this where they've been waiting with a number of other people who are about to be interviewed?
Yeah, I had a situation like that.
Okay, what was it like?
A little bit stressful because you know there are another people which is eager to compete with you. So you are not alone in that competition. Because of that, I felt stressful.
We'd say stressed out.
Yeah.
Or the situation was stressful. Because of that, the situation was stressful. We could never feel stressful. We can't feel stressful. I guess you could feel like you're being stressful
Yeah.
to someone else. So you can be stressful to some extent. It still sounds a little bit awkward, but we would feel stressed out.
Stressed out.
Or you could just say stressed. But I think that's good. Yeah, and I think that would be very stressful. And Simone, welcome to class. Simone, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. And you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Okay,
All right.
good.
And maybe Alera, can you ask Andrew the first question?
Okay. If you had to ask an interview question to a potential employee, what question would you ask and why?
It's an interesting question. I would ask, why did you decide to change your job? And what kind of factors do you like about our company?
Yeah, what kind of factors do you like about our company? We wouldn't say what kind of factors do you like about our company. Maybe just things. What kind of things do you like about our company?
Okay.
Oh, but I think those are great questions. Nice. And Andrew, can you ask David the same question?
Okay, David, if you had to ask an interview question to a potential employee, what question would you ask and why?
Why do you want to work with us?
Okay, why do you want to work with us? That's a good one. And yeah, for sure. Maybe David, can you ask Julieta the first or the second question here?
Okay. Brainstorm some questions you never want someone to ask you in a job interview. Simon.
Sorry, it's for me.
Yes.
Attention.
I think it was for Julieta. If I'm not sure.
Okay.
Sorry, it was
No
my
worries.
fault.
You can answer. No problem.
Yeah, go ahead, Simon, then.
Okay, it's the second one, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so the question I never wanted. Okay, the question could be, what would you do if you fall in love with a colleague at work?
Okay, if you fell in love with a colleague at work. Wow. Yeah, that would be a terrible question to be asked.
Yeah, because I don't know the answer.
Yeah, no, that's a tricky one. Good. Yeah. And Julieta, what about you? What would be the question for you?
For me, well, I don't know. Sorry, guys.
No worries. Maybe, Ishmael, what about you? What question would you never want to be asked?
Actually, Joshua, maybe I wouldn't want to be asked some questions about my privacy and about my personality. For example, what is your weak side? So I don't like something like these questions.
Okay, instead of saying your weak side, your weakness.
Yes.
And so you don't like questions like these. I don't like those questions. That's good.
What is your weakness?
Yeah.
It is not
The tough
polite, I
question.
think, to ask someone what is your weakness.
Yeah, I think it's a really common question in job interviews, but I think it is a hard one too.
But
to
I
answer
think
well.
sometimes we don't need to answer because they can notice. Because you know.
So sometimes we don't need to answer because why?
The interviewers can notice your weakness, you know,
Yes.
by your answers.
Yes, Suman, you are right. And I think that their duty is this in an interview environment. They are because this reason there, maybe.
I'm not sure what you're saying their duty is. So their duty, you said, is this. What's this?
Their duty is to find our weak side or strong side. The interviewer. I want to say, don't me ask. Try to find yourself to interviewer. Joshua.
Okay. Yeah, so I think their duty, their duty is to find our weaknesses and our strengths.
Yes.
Yeah. So and even if we try to hide them, I think a good interviewer will be able to notice your weaknesses. I think that's good, Simone. So good collaboration, you two. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions before we move to the next page? Okay. And let's try this, and let's start with Jonathan. Can you read the words?
Okay. Formulated, qualifications, adaptable, personable, handle, fair, dependable, creative, logical.
Nice. That sounded really good. Great reading, Jonathan.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about any of these words?
The first one.
Formulated.
First one, formulated. Who can explain what formulated means?
describing a formula in a mathematical way.
So not quite. So I mean, sort of. But I think in a business sense it'd be a little bit different. Formulated. So any other guesses about what formulated means?
To express something.
To express
Yeah.
an
To express
statement.
something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just did say.
to some extent, I think there's maybe a better definition. So formulate is just to
Maybe acting of a person who is predictable, maybe.
I think that would be a little bit more like formulaic, I believe. And that's like following a formula.
Yeah.
But if we formulate an idea, it's just like
Question.
to come up with or create an idea. So I formulated maybe a method of coping with a large client, I don't know, database. I don't know. But so just formulate, let's come up with an idea. Does that make sense? Yeah, you could formulate a question, which would just be to come up with a question.
An idea, yeah. That's right. It does. It has sense. Right.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Adapt. Adapt. What is the meaning of adapt?
Adapt.
Adapt.
Yeah. And can anybody explain what adept means?
An expert man or woman.
An expert. Okay. Good. Yeah. So very skillful would be adept as well. So somebody who's very skillful at something is somebody who's adept at that. Any other questions?
And what about if someone is personable?
Personable.
Personable. Yeah, personable.
Okay. And who can explain what personable is? Personable.
Easygoing, or is it?
Yeah. Easygoing, friendly.
Friendly.
Someone who gets along with other people.
Nice people, you know.
Okay. Gentle. Okay.
Pleasant.
What was that last one?
Pleasant.
Yeah, pleasant could be good. Charismatic, maybe.
Gentle.
Yeah.
Kind.
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 We are full of synonyms.
Yeah, so those all work. But yeah, somebody who's just maybe pleasant.
I think I'm done with the
Okay.
vocabulary.
Any other questions here? Does anybody else have any other questions?
Is there any difference with pronunciation with adapt and adapt? How can I describe?
Okay,
adapt and just I am writing it on Verbling chat and adapt.
Yeah. So one has the A sound, adapt, and the other one has the eh, so adept. So adept and adapt. Can you read the difference between the two of these?
Adapt, adapt. Actually, they are very, very similar.
Very similar. Adept, adapt.
Adapt.
So it's an eh and an ah. So really similar, but slightly different. Okay, and maybe let's have Julieta. Can you read this comic?
Frankly, Mr. Daniels, if this were my resume, I would have lied.
Good. And Oner, what is happening here?
Sorry. Um, huh. Okay. The interviewer just think about that resume maybe have some lies.
Not quite. I don't think the interviewer believes the resume contains lies. Something similar, but different. Maybe, Simone, what do you think? Oh, okay.
Sorry. Okay, I think it's the opposite. Actually, the guy who is trying to get a job, he couldn't lie, so he brought a resume from another person, and he couldn't lie on the interview.
Not quite.
I don't know.
I think
the resume is very bad, no?
Resume is very bad. Maybe
very bad. Okay. He doesn't have experience. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so he doesn't have experience or he doesn't have qualifications.
Okay.
And the boss says he should have lied.
Okay.
Instead of being honest. So yeah, the boss is telling him, wow, this resume is so bad that you should have lied before you gave it to me.
Okay, I gotcha.
Similar. But, and yeah, does anybody have any questions?
Joshua, maybe there are a lot of exaggeration on the resume, and that's why the interviewer behave in this way.
Not quite. So I think that's normally what people expect. People expect that the person who's looking for a job would exaggerate. But in this case, the person reading is saying, wow, you should have exaggerated because your resume is so bad.
Okay.
But yeah, good idea. So just a little bit different. So the boss is just saying, I wish you had lied. All right. Any other questions here? Any questions on this page?
No, Joshua, it's fine.
Okay. And let's go on to the next page. Let's have, I think, Simone, can you ask Adela? Actually, let's have Adela. Can you read this first part?
Sorry? Yes. Prepare for the "What's your weakness?" question. Most people overthink this question and give a canned answer like, I'm too much of a perfectionist. Others give a genuine answer but still fall short of what this question is really asking. It's not about admitting your weakness. It's about showing how you overcome them. What system have you put in place? What progress have you made? Include those thoughts to strengthen your answer.
Good. Really good.
To strengthen your answer.
Yeah, it sounds like strengthen. Strengthen.
Strengthen your answer.
Yeah. Thoughts?
Thoughts?
Good. Maybe just that S at the end of systems.
Systems.
Good. Systems.
Admitting.
Good. And weaknesses.
Weaknesses.
Good. Nice job. Really good job at the beginning here too, with canned, perfectionist, genuine. Those are some really difficult words that you did really well with them. So nice work there. Yeah, and your enunciation sounds a lot better too. So the space in between words is getting a lot better as well, Adela. That sounds really good. Andrew, so can you read the examples?
Okay. Weak example. My weakness is that I struggle to run efficient meetings. Strong example. I sometimes struggle to run efficient meetings, but I work to improve by drafting an agenda before every meeting, sending it to all participants, and then following up with a recap and clear action items so everyone knows what to do moving forward.
Nice. Good job. Only a couple small things. Agenda. Agenda? Sorry, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
And yeah, can you repeat agenda?
Agenda.
Yeah. Following.
Following.
And then recap.
Recap.
Yeah. So with a recap. Good. Does anybody have any questions on this page? Any questions here?
What is a recap?
Okay, so it's short for recapitulation.
Oh, okay.
So which is just kind of like a review.
A review. Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. And I think it's actually used much more frequently than recapitulation, just to recap. I think there are some people who probably would know what recap means, but wouldn't know what recapitulation means. Just maybe a thought. And so let's have Andrew. Can you ask David this question right here?
David, what's your weakness?
I think one of them is that I usually I have no problem to say what I'm thinking about.
Huh. Okay. One correction, I have no problem saying what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Okay, and so this is a good answer. I have no problem saying what I'm thinking about. I think one thing you might want to do is maybe tell how this has hurt you. It's like, how has that hurt you in the past, and how are you trying to like better manage this lack of impulse control?
I think in the past, perhaps one day my wife asked me if I liked her new look, and I said the truth, and I think I was wrong.
And how are you trying to do better? It's like, how are you trying to change this lack of impulse control?
Just lying, I think.
Okay, that might not be the best answer for an interview. Maybe like judging the situation and like waiting before I respond to things could be good. Nice.
Is my weakness. I usually say what I am thinking.
Yeah, that's good though. All right, and Julieta, what about you? What's your weakness?
My weakness?
Mm-hmm.
My weakness could be that I struggle to with deadlines, but not because I am procrastinate.
Nice. To meet deadlines, but not because I procrastinate. So why do you think you struggle to meet deadlines, and how are you changing it? How are you trying to make that better?
I struggle with deadlines because I always try to find a solution that I like.
I always try to find a solution that I like. Okay. And so again, like we're saying here, like what systems have you put in place to help solve that? And like what progress have you made? So like how are you trying to overcome maybe this weakness?
I tried to divide the work in small steps and accept the result of every steps.
Okay, and accept the results of those steps.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I think that's good. So something that you're doing to make your deadline meeting skills improve would be cutting up tasks into small steps and being okay with the results of those steps. Nice. Maybe let's do one more. Ismail, what about you? What's your weakness, Ismail?
Well, Joshua, I am a naive person, and I usually try to work without an error, and that's why it takes a long time to do a project, and I sometimes stay late at work and try to catch the schedule.
We could say try to catch up with my work.
Try to keep up with the schedule.
Okay, catch up or keep up with the schedule. Yeah, that would work too. All right. And so I think your answer is good. Just be aware. So at least with this suggestion here, so something that sounds like maybe too much of a perfectionist, which is okay.
Yes.
But again, I think it's a good idea to think of something that maybe is a little bit more of a weakness. Maybe like taking a long time to do projects. If you just say that, so it takes me a really long time to do projects, and then tell how you're trying to stop taking a long time with projects, how you're trying to make it better. Yeah, but I think your answer is still good, and it would definitely work. Just based on this, maybe gives a little bit of different advice, but definitely individual answers are fine. Does anybody have any questions here? Any questions?
No.
Okay. And let's go on to the next page. And let's have Jose, can you do some reading? Can you read the beginning of this?
Okay. Ideas.
Yeah.
Brainstorm. Brainstorm. 3. Anecdotes. Your interviewer is unmemorable as the stories you share. Many people have fascinating experiences but forget them when they're on the spot. To remedy this, have 3 anecdotes read to plug into your interview. Your anecdotes should follow a simple format.
Good. Okay. And interview.
Interview.
Good. Interview fascinating.
Fascinating experience.
Experiences.
Experiences.
Good. Experiences. Forget.
Forget.
And anecdotes.
Anecdote. Okay.
Good. Anecdotes.
Anecdotes.
Ready to plug into your
Anecdotes.
interview. Yeah. Good. And so let's kind of make up an anecdote together. Let's have Jose. Can you ask owner the first question?
Problem. What was the situation?
What's the situation? I guess I missed it.
Okay, so try to imagine it. It's making something up. So let's talk about a story of maybe when you had a difficult time at work, when you failed something, when you learned something about your weaknesses or strengths. So it's really an anecdote about anything. Just have something that's applicable to a lot of different questions, perhaps. So what's a problem that you had at work or with your job? So let's just talk about situations. When have you had any problems?
I am in dairy business, so dairy business is very fast reacting area to work. So sometimes it's very difficult to decide about problems, decide about solutions. So this is the worst part of my job.
Okay, so sometimes it's hard to make decisions. And that's the worst part of your job.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it might help to be a little bit more specific. So talk about one situation where maybe it was difficult to make a decision quickly. So what was happening when it was hard to make a decision? What's one specific example?
Okay. The cows always produce milk. They are not separate time. So also our factory receive milk from dairy farms in day 24 hours per day. So sometimes I need to talk with telephone at 3 a.m. So it's very hard to decide. It's very hard to make a perfect decision for that period of time. So late.
Okay, maybe we could say that late at night. And again, owner, this is really good. But I think we'd want to again talk about a specific event. So, for example, when I started working at the dairy plant or factory, I once had to wake up at 3 a.m. and decide whether or not to buy a shipment of milk. Something like that. So that would be a more specific situation.
Okay.
So start with something specific. So if we're talking about an anecdote, it's a story. And Simone, maybe imagine, but how did you solve this problem? So you woke up at 3 a.m. and you couldn't decide what to do with the milk. How did you solve the problem, Simone?
Actually, everybody thought that I woke up 3 in the morning, but actually I was in a party to keep me awake. So I was really awake and I had some coffees before and I was prepared for that decision.
Before, and I was prepared to make that decision.
All the
Nice.
time I say in a party, at a party.
Yeah, we'd be at a party,
Yes.
which is good.
Party is not a good decision to. if you
I
have.
always talk about party. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Which is fine. But yeah, maybe I was at, maybe we could just say like a friend's house. Might not be a good idea in an interview to say that you were at a party, and that's why you were able to make a good decision.
Sounds better.
Yeah, so maybe I was with a friend drinking coffee, so I was well prepared.
Actually, I had an experience like that, but I was drunk, so it's not a good decision. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. You probably wouldn't want to mention that then, but good. And so maybe, Adela, what changed afterwards? What happened after you made that decision? Do you think?
The decision is the result. Sorry, the action finally. What is the action about Simone? Because decide.
Yeah, so Simone, what was your decision? I guess at the party. So what decision did you make?
So of course I decided to buy everything I could. Because actually I had some dreams, so I thought I was rich. I could buy everything.
Okay, I thought I was rich and I thought I could buy everything.
The result, I think, is maybe you can't lost the clients, or because it's not same quality they normally have or associate your brand.
They were used to maybe, or the
Yes.
same quality they.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
But is only possible this action because it's very difficult to have another possibility.
Yeah, which is fine. And so what did you learn from that? So what changed afterwards? So maybe you made a bad decision and you bought all the milk that maybe you shouldn't have and your clients got bad products. But what did you learn? I think this is the most important part. So as long as you learn something, even a bad experience can be a good thing to talk about at a job interview. So Adero, what did you learn?
I think your experience is about you need to control and have to have other factory. Maybe not only have the milk for one farmer, but have more. I don't providers. Sorry, different farmer. You have milk to have difference and the same quality. If one don't have or have a problem, you can substitute or you can maybe have more light milk for the others. More or less is supply have more suppliers Supplier? Supplier?
Okay, suppliers.
Suppliers.
Or providers. You could have more
Yes.
providers or more suppliers with similarly high quality. So that way, if one has a problem, I learned that I could substitute milk. I could substitute their milk with milk from others. I think that's good. Also, Simone has a good comment too. Learned it's not a good decision to drink before making a decision. It's definitely reasonable. Maybe not something you'd say at a job interview, but good. Yeah, I think that was really nice. Let's have maybe Andrew. Can you quickly come up with an anecdote for yourself? So can you tell us the time you had a problem, what you did to solve it, and what changed afterwards?
Okay. Once on the radio, I need to mix news. Yeah, I needed to mix news. It was a really long news, maybe 20 minutes long. So I choose a program and started to mix it and edit. After a while, I realized that my program doesn't have real-time bounce function. So I realized that I won't be ready until deadline. So I decided to choose another program and start to edit on fly. It's like when you don't listen to what you are editing, you just try to guess what kind of form of wave what kind of form of wave of sound can sound like. So when I did it, I was on time, and after that I got a title of the fastest editor on our radio station. And the result was I realized you need to behave in creative way. You don't give up, and everything will be okay.
Okay. Maybe if you don't give up, everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Will be okay. And so yeah, just if then kind of statement. But that was good. That was a really good PAR anecdote, or PAR anecdote. Nice, and that's an awesome story. So yeah, kind of sometimes going on the fly is a good decision. That was awesome. Okay, and does anybody have any questions on this page? Okay, and so actually that's what we just did. Let's go and look at this. This is a tricky comic. David, can you read the comic?
Yes. It would start with 5 minutes of peeling lint from dryer traps, followed by an hour of pressing a lightsaber handle against things and switching it on. Then I retired to a life of luxury. When people ask me to describe my dream job, I'm never sure how realistic to be.
Good. And so, David, can you kind of explain what you just read? Do you have any idea?
I think he's talking about fiction, I think, because I don't understand the first phrase, but I understand the second one. He's pressing a lightsaber, and this is the kind of weapon used in Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah. And Yeah, and so he's using a lightsaber. Man, I don't know why it does that. So this is a dryer trap or a lint trap. So it's just something that you put in a dryer that captures the lint from your clothes as they're spinning in the dryer. And so peeling it off is just something that's really easy that maybe he enjoys doing. It's just something that's absurd. It doesn't make any sense. It would never be a job. And so, yeah, Giulietta, can you explain it a little bit more?
So he doesn't know if he has to describe a real job or a surrealistic job or mix everything, because he has not clear idea of his dreamy job.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people can have really odd dream jobs. Like, I wish I could get paid to sit and look at the stars and daydream. And that's not something that would ever be a realistic job. So it's not really, it's not realistic, but it's maybe more honest. So you can dream about that. You can dream about getting paid for it. But it's not really realistic. Maybe just honest. So I think this is good. Giulietta, how honest do you think you should be during a job interview? How honest should you be?
Honest at the point that you will not ruin the interview.
Okay. Where you won't ruin the interview. Okay, so you wouldn't be as honest as maybe he's being in the comic.
Yes.
All right.
Or you can be honest and don't tell everything.
Okay, so you can be honest and not tell everything.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe without saying everything.
Not saying everything.
Okay. And yeah, that's solid. Ismail, what about you? What do you think? How honest should you be during a job interview?
I have never experienced a job interview before, Josh, and I am not sure actually, but I think the interviewers group can decide that if I am honest or not, because I am a not good role player.
Okay, so I'm not a good role player. I'm not good at faking or, you know, maybe acting is something. I'm not a good actor.
Yes, I'm not a good actor. And if there is no necessity, actually, we should not talk about everything about us.
Okay, we shouldn't talk about everything about ourselves. Okay, that's good. I think that's nice. Does anybody have any questions here? Okay, let's go on to the next page. Let's skip that for now. This is good. Let's try this. Let's do some reading. Jose, can you read the first part?
Yes. Some interviews include those analytical questions, whether you're solving for an exact number. What is the EBITDA of company, or rough estimate how many ping pong balls can fit in a Boeing 777? It's important to talk through your thinking. Don't just give an answer. So, how you got there?
Yeah. Can you repeat show?
Show how you got there. Show
And thinking?
thinking.
And then rough.
Rough.
Yeah. We're solving for an exact number. What's the... I'm not even sure what EBITDA would be. EBITDA. I don't know what that is. But
EBITDA. Okay.
yeah. So I think that's good. And then let's have Simone, can you read the examples?
Example. Consider these two answers. So how many law moments are there today in the United States? Weak and strong?
Yeah, please.
Weak. After 45 seconds of silence, you blurt out 75 million. Strong. You were talking the entire way through, sharing your calculations and assumptions.
And yeah, can you finish that up?
Okay, let's start from the top down. Assuming the US population is 300 million and each household averages 3 people, then we have 100 million families in the US. Let's assume urban households don't have lawns to mow, and therefore only suburban and rural families buy lawn mowers. I don't know. If roughly 25% of American is urban and 75 is suburban and rural, then we have 75 million households that own a lawnmower.
Good. Did a great job. When we say lawnmower, it's a little bit quicker, so lawnmower.
Lawnmower.
Good. Then urban.
Urban. Suburban.
And suburban. So suburban. Can you repeat suburban?
Sorry, suburban.
Good. Nice job. Okay. And so yeah, does everybody kind of understand the difference between the two answers? So the difference between talking through your thinking and just giving an answer? Does everybody understand the difference?
No, Joshua, I couldn't understand the difference.
Okay. So they're saying that when you're asked a difficult question that maybe involves mathematics or reasoning, you shouldn't just say the answer. You shouldn't just say 75 million. You should talk about what you're thinking. Say, well, I'm not really sure, but let's try to figure it out. So, assuming we have 300 million, and there are 3 people in each household, then we only have maybe 100 million families. And people in cities, so urban households, people in cities don't have lawns, so only suburban and rural families buy lawnmowers. So that's 75% of 100 million. Then we maybe have 75 million households with a lawnmower.
Yes, Joshua, I understand the concept at these questions, but for example, how can we solve this problem? How many ping pong balls can fit in a Boeing 777?
Okay, and so if you don't know the answer, you can say, well, I would say you could probably fit 100 balls in the width of a Boeing 777, and maybe how many balls in height? It's probably 7 feet tall, so a ping pong ball, I'd say you can fit 12 ping pong balls in a foot, So we'd say 100 wide and 12 times 7, you know. So it'd be, what, 80 something, 89. So maybe 100 wide and 89 tall over the course of so many space. So just talking through it instead of just saying an answer would help.
Okay.
So just saying how you're thinking instead of just saying an answer, just guessing, is what they're saying. So it's just important to talk through it. And Mr. Google helped you. But good. And so we are out of time. Does anybody have any last questions?
No, thank you for the class.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. It was nice having everybody.
Thank you.
And hopefully I'll
Bye
see you.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Joshua. Bye, class.
Take care.
See you.
See ya.
See ya.